Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Flame Emperor episode number 323 based on novel. So let's start. Damn. What kind of power is this? Looking at Ling Yu, who was aloof, with a dominance-like attitude, and looking at the complex version of the gaze pupil beside him, Xiao Yan's heart was filled with horror. At this time, the eyes of staring at Ling Yu's side are also full of the power of the extremely bright two holy flames, but the power of the holy flames is extremely weak, and some evil powers have been added by them, so the 4-star fighting immortal perfection level with his strength displayed, it was naturally an overwhelming victory against Xiao Yan, who was in the weak state of the 4-star Dozian early stage. Little chops. Forcing all my cards out is worthy of your title as the master of Saint Flame. However, this time, it's time to end. Ling Yu's palm shook slowly, and the replica version of the staring holy flame pupil was grasped on the palm of his hand, and he said grimly, "Next, I am afraid that only the power of the clan mark and the battle formation master." Suddenly, aware of the extremely dazzling power in the Ling Yu domain, Xiao Yan muttered to himself, "It's almost over. But this little guy, I hope this Ling Yu can force his potential out." The Soul Eater, who was located high in the sky, pierced through Ling Yu's domain and saw Xiao Yang, who was in trouble, laughed. Xiao Yang has many treasures on his body, such as spiritual power, clan marks, and soul power, etc., and only through the crisis of life and death can he be completely forced out. Go to hell. A cold snort sounded like a thunderbolt, bursting directly at Xiao Yang with an unstoppable aura of destruction. You want to kill me just because of this? Idiot, talking about a dream. Seeing this, Xiao Yang's pupils shrank tightly, and the khaki-colored fire heart heavenly rock and the blue-colored ghost face soul flames filled out at the same time. I don't know why you are able to have two holy flames, but the strength of the mere 4-star fighting immortal early stage is not enough, so, it is over. As soon as the words fell, the duplicate version of staring at holy flames came directly to Xiao Yang, about to explode. Hold me up. Xiao Yang didn't have time to make any unnecessary movements at this time. The power of the two holy flames was combined with soul power and spiritual power, and they were directly displayed, and they met the replica staring at the holy flame pupil. Boom. Wave after wave of destruction ripples spread out in Ling Yu domain. At that time, Ling Yu domain was completely destroyed by this terrifying explosion. Reluctantly resisting the copy version of staring Sheng Yangtong, a big hand of black energy slapped Xiao Yang's body with a slap, and Xiao Yang's body couldn't help being slapped with several scars. 4-star Dozian is still too weak in the early stage. I will always be your invincible genius, if you want to beat me, unless there are two Xiao Yang. The gloomy voice sounded like the victor was reading a declaration of victory. Two Xiao Yang? Xiao Yang muttered with blood dripping from the corner of his mouth because he was attacked one after another by Ling Yu. It's over, the last blow, send you to hell, Tianming tearing the devil's hand. A roar. At that time, Ling Yu's whole body was completely replaced by an incomparably evil black aura, and an evil giant hand with a size of 100 feet, carrying a monstrous hand to the sky. Evil power suddenly appeared in this void, even in the void, filled with endless screams. It's just two Xiao Yang. Who said we don't have any? After the breath, a grey-white light appeared in Xiao Yang's body, and a tyrannical light burst out from Xiao Yang's body immediately, with a touch of terror. The fluctuations permeated this world. How is that possible? Ling Yu couldn't help but say when he saw this, because with his perception, the power contained in this white glow, the spirit has the terrifying fluctuations that destroy him. I am you, and you are me, no matter when, we are one. So let this guy see our true strength. Xiao Lei finished speaking, dazzling thunders appeared all over his body. Among those thunders, there is no lack of some Thunder Master's grey source power, and even a lot of tyrannical power, and after a while, all of them are irrigated towards Xiao Yang's body. Boom. With Xiao Lei appearing, and after all his power was injected into Xiao Yang's body, Xiao Yang suddenly felt that his power had recovered from a weak state in an instant, and even the power of thunder that filled his body, in a violent and unbridled manner. It is like anger at Ling Yu tilting the power of thunder, the king of heaven and earth. The power of flame, purgatory Yama. If that's the case, let's end it with one blow. Seeing Ling Yu's tyrannical attack, Xiao Yang also smiled slowly. After a while, his body suddenly lifted into the air, his hand slowly opened, and the other held the incomparably bright flame Do Qi, the other hand is holding the tyrannical power of thunder. Whether the energies of the thunder attribute and fire attribute can rely on the neutralization of the burning decision and the soul power to display something different, a crazy idea formed in Xiao Yang's heart. This guy, Crazy. Fall for me. A roar emerged from Ling Yu's mouth, and the evil magic hand, with monstrous evil power, blasted towards Xiao Yang. Thunderbolt, thunderbolt. Flame Do Qi and Thunder Do Qi just appeared, and the two suddenly became like fire and water, bursting with extremely tyrannical resistance, but under Xiao Yang's continuous suppression, they began to slowly merge. After a few breaths, the power of thunder and the power of flame slowly merged. Suddenly, in front of Xiao Yang's body, a huge creature like a guardian suddenly appeared. Thunder, fire, hell, destroy me, bar. Not long after, the guardian in front of him was full of energy giants with flames and thunder, and set foot in this piece of heaven and earth. On the body of Thunder, Fire, Hell King, Xiao Yang has also added the power of 2 holy flames, so this level of attack has devastating power for Ling Yu, who has the power of foreign evil clan. Boom. Lei Hua Hades trampled over and was easily attacked by the evil devil hand, but the seemingly tyrannical evil devil did not struggle too much, and was completely beheaded by Thunderfire Hade. Bang, bang, bang. The black evil forces were constantly being decomposed by the Thunderfire Hell King, and even that Ling Yu was in a state of retreat. How is that possible? Seeing that his most proud attack was so unbearable in the hands of a mere 4-star Dozian early-stage guy, Ling Yu's eyes couldn't help but become solemn. The dazzling battle was completely over, and in this void, Zaidu regained its calm, but the huge body of the Thunderfire King was still guarding Xiao Yang, as if he was the guardian of the most loyal minister. General. With a sound, his attack was broken, and a mouthful of black blood spurted out from the corner of Ling Yu's mouth. It's better to go first. After a while, without any hesitation, Ling Yu turned into a streamer and was ready to escape from here. Do you still want to run? Saint Flame kills evil. Let's fall completely. Xiao Yang naturally wouldn't give Ling Yu such a chance. 2 holy flames shot at the same time and directly wrapped Ling Yu. Xiao Yang, if you kill me, the court has decided not to let you go. Ling Yu became afraid when he noticed Xiao Yang's dazzling killing intent. This Xiao Yang was definitely the first time in his life that he had met him. To such a fearless guy. In the realm of darkness. Damn, such a hot wave. Is this the big brother coming? In the water prison, Xiao Gui was bathed in water all over his body, but fortunately he was isolated by ghost qi, so he was not affected by these strange water. Contaminated, but with a faint sense of strength and blood, I noticed that a familiar wave slowly emerged above the water prison, and immediately said. With a sound, immediately above the water prison, a rock suddenly fell. Who? This breath seems familiar. Xiao Gui barely sensed that someone had entered here, and muttered to himself. The water prison is located below the Qingshan Peak, and above it is a flatland composed of fast rocks, so few people here know about it. Xiao Gui, where are you? Suddenly, a soft female voice slowly filled the entire water prison. Dream. Menglan? No, I can't let Menglan see me in such a mess. After Shurenshi, Xiao Gui held back the joy in his heart and said. It's just that Luo Menglan was carrying grey power at this time, so it was only a matter of time before he wanted to find Xiao Gui. On the other side, in the realm of darkness, with the end of the explosion. Why didn't you look like this when you sent someone to arrest Xiao Gui to interrogate him? I'm afraid now. Xiao Yang gently walked over to Ling Yu with the power of 2 holy flames that purify all things, but every step he took, it was with a very violent aura. This kind of breath, like a fierce beast, is quite terrifying. Little bastard, since you insist on doing this, don't take it easy if you want me to die. Boom. Ling Yu is also a ruthless person. While speaking, he did not hesitate to consume his own blood essence, directly triggering his life essence and blood, and completely self-destructed. Bang, bang, bang. A burst of fiery red flames and black evil power spread out from the center of Ling Yu's standing, and even this sky is full of extremely terrifying fluctuations, such a bright evil force, even ordinary the powerhouses in the late stage of the 4-star fighting immortals could only retreat. I said, you can't run away. Xiao Yang smiled when he saw this, and the huge body of the guardian of the thunder and fire hell suddenly stepped forward to protect himself, preventing the power of self-destruction from endangering himself, and immediately show off the 2 holy flames, and directly wrap up this exploding space. In this way, even if this Ling Yu has 3 heads and 6 arms, he can't run. Boom. In an instant, Ling Yu's whole body exploded, and the violent energy it generated turned out to be filled with a sense of solemnity in this dark world. Squeak. As soon as the aftermath of the self-destruction dissipated, an illusory soul body suddenly appeared in the void. This soul body was Ling Yu, but the current Ling Yu was extremely sluggish. Damn. I actually let me blew myself up and lost so much of my source power. When I go back this time, I must let Lord Demon Emperor beat you. Next time, I must get all the shame of today back. The voice of resentment emerged from the illusory soul body. Ling Yu cleared it, and the inevitable defeat cannot be solved, but the remaining Qingshan is not afraid of not being able to. He still understands the truth of firewood. Spirit-devouring blood tablet, suppress me. Just as Ling Yu's soul body was trying to escape, Xiao Yang snorted coldly, and a huge blood-red stone tablet suddenly appeared, and immediately suppressed Ling Yu under the illusion. Bastard! When Ling Yu saw this, it was too late to try to escape, so he could only let out a thunderous roar and then use his soul power to protect himself. But compared with Xiao Yang's, Ling Yu's soul power was 108,000 miles worse than that of Xiao Yang. Just superfluous. Bang bang bang. With a sound, Ling Yu was immediately suppressed and restrained by the spirit-devouring blood monument, unable to move. This blow is to avenge Xiao Gui. The fist wrapped in the khaki-colored holy flame directly hit Ling Yu under the illusion. Immediately, Ling Yu's body suddenly shook, and countless powers shattered. Obviously, the original soul injured again. This blow is for you, as a genius in the courtyard, but colluding with the forces of the evil race outside the territory to do things that hurt the world. Bang bang bang. The next moment, a fist with cyan holy flame was hitting. Being hit by the two holy flames and suppressed by the spirit-devouring blood monument, Ling Yu's complexion suddenly turned hideous. Obviously, the power of these three forces continued to hide him, and he suddenly became extremely weak. The current self has reached the realm of exhaustion. If it weren't for you, I'm afraid that you have been obliterated by me at this time, but even so, I can't spare you easily. Boom. The palm of his hand was raised gently, and suddenly the weak soul Ling Yu was directly absorbed by Xiao Yang into his sea of vindictiveness. Little bastard, one day, I will step on you. Being suppressed by Xiao Yang, Ling Yu could only let out a roar. Boom. Xiao Yang finished the battle here, and immediately turned his eyes to the high altitude of the realm of darkness, watching the battle between the Soul Eater and the Demon Emperor Xiao. Your body master seems to be no match for my disciple. The Soul Eater saw Xiao Yang's actions, and immediately smiled with satisfaction. Obviously, the power of this level of Thunder and Fire Hell's Guardian is enough to make Xiao Yang in the 4-star battle of immortals. Cope with ease. Master of Soul Eater, don't be mad. Next time we meet in Du, our crime will definitely make you unable to eat and walk around. In the dim light group, the Demon Emperor Xiao let out a loud shout and spoke slowly. Suppression, his original power also seems rather weak. Humph. The mere sin is trying to be compared with my Soul Eater. It's too much to think of you. Fall. The voice of the Master of Soul Eater just fell, and the dazzling power of devouring emerged all over his body, and immediately rushed towards the Demon Emperor Xiao with that mysterious power. Xiao Demon Eclipse Hand. Seeing this, the dark-colored light group shook violently, and immediately all the power burst out, turning into a 100-jong demonic hand in front of him. Above the magic hand, the meaning of terrifying lament emerged, and even ***** bubbles that were as violent as lava continued to emerge, which made it extremely evil. It's over. Seeing this, Soul Eater did not hesitate, and the power of devouring suddenly moved. Crash. No matter how tyrannical the Demon Emperor Xiao's attack is, it is only a trace of the power of the source after all. Compared with the power of the Soul Eater, it is undoubtedly one in the sky and one underground, so it is easily swallowed up by the power. Devour. Reincarnation. How can the fluctuation of reincarnation be possible? In an instant, when the magic hand was about to be submerged, the Demon Emperor Xiao let out a roar. Obviously, in the power of devouring, he sensed the fluctuation of reincarnation. Although it is extremely weak, it actually exists. After a while, the world of darkness was completely calm, but that Ling Yu was completely suppressed and subdued by Xiao Yang, and even a trace of the origin of the Demon Emperor Xiao entrusted in Ling Yu's body was also devoured. The Lord of Souls was completely wiped out. Boom. In an instant, with the fall of the two, the realm of darkness also slowly disappeared, revealing the destroyed green mountain peaks like flat ground. In the past, the Qingshan Peak was extremely prosperous, and there were many Qingyun Pavilion disciples, but with the attack of Xiao Yang this time, this place became a desolate mountain range, and the Qingyun Pavilion, Ling Yu and others were even more broken in his hands. Let's go. I'll leave the rest to those old guys. After Shunqi, the Soul Eater returned to Xiao Yang's body and said, will the fluctuation of that level just now be discovered by the great masters in the Earth Spirit Academy? After a while, Xiao Yang also looked into the distance and spoke slowly. The realm of darkness is the proud work of Demon Emperor Xiao, so unless you are a strong person like the Lord of Souls, it is not easy to be discovered. Don't worry. Lord of Soul Eater smiled. Xiao Gui's breath. After a slight pause in midair, Xiao Yang headed towards the water prison on the top of the mountain. Big brother. On the top of the mountain, the pale Xiao Gui was carefully supported by Luo Menglan. Are you all right? Xiao Yang asked tentatively. Obviously, based on Xiao Yang's understanding of Xiao Gui, the arrest of Xiao Gui must have something to do with Luo Menglan, but it doesn't matter now. After all, Luo Menglan's beautiful eyes are full of traces. With a hint of heartache, the eyes of Xiao Gui have also changed. Now that Ling Yu is dead, the relationship between the two of them has become justifiable. Since there is nothing to do, let's go, and leave the rest to others. Luo Menglan looked at the barren mountain in the air, and waves of terrifying fluctuations appeared, as if some terrifying guy was about to emerge. Crash. As soon as the voice fell, the speed of the three of them skyrocketed and they were ready to leave here easily. Since you have done such a crazy thing, then stay, and when the matter is investigated, you will naturally be given justice. Just as Xiao Yang and the three were shaking their bodies and preparing to leave here, the endless void in the middle of the barren mountain suddenly appeared. It was filled with extremely terrifying fluctuations, and after a while, it turned into a giant hand of nothingness, directly slaughtering Xiao Yang and the others. Not good. Seeing this, Xiao Yang shouted loudly, and the wave of death appeared in his heart. The holy flame and the clan mark slowly brewed, and once there was a change, it would be displayed immediately. Bang bang bang. In an instant, just when the giant hand of nothingness was about to attack Xiao Yang and the three of them, a big tree in the sky rose from the barren mountain below, and the strong breath of life directly sent that terrifying attacks are easily resisted. Who? In the void space, there was a cold snort, obviously extremely angry. The three headmasters of the dignified courtyard will actually bend over to attack a junior, and are not afraid of losing your face? After a while, two strange figures suddenly appeared above the lush ancient tree. Rosamu? Earth Spirit Old Ghost. Seeing the appearance of these two people, an old man appeared slowly in the endless void. Ling Feng. Looking at the man in brocade clothes standing quietly in the void, Di Ling looked at the two with a solemn expression. The sect competition is inherently unavoidable, and Zhang Jiao's move is a bit too much. After a while, Luo Zamu snorted coldly, but the tyrannical fluctuations on Ling Feng's body, like the 7-star fighting immortal level, were still the same. Make yourself quite exhausted. Old Ghost of Earth Spirit, I promised you not to get involved in the acacia tree before, but I didn't promise you not to interfere in the affairs of the Zhongyu sect. Ling Feng also snorted coldly. Sect Master Ling, as far as I know, your son seems to be very wrong in recent years, and he is so reckless. I don't know if the headmaster knows about this. After Shurenshi, the old ghost of the Earth Spirit stopped Luo Zhamu and asked, How do you know? Ling Feng immediately frowned upon hearing this. Obviously, Ling Yu's situation has been wrong in recent years. I don't know much about Ling Yu, but this guy seems to have an affair with a foreigner. After a while, the old ghost of the Earth Spirit let out a gloomy sneer. Impossible. Ling Feng heard this, his face full of disbelief. The foreign evil clan is the common enemy of the entire Great Thousand World and even the powerhouses of the Seven Realms. If Ling Yu has an affair with the foreign evil clan, even if he is the headmaster of the Terrestrial Academy, he may not be able to escape. If the matter is true or false, please go back to Ling Yu's residence to find out. The old ghost of Earth Spirit said. Let's not talk about Ling Yu, I have to take this Xiao Yang back. Throughout the ages, no one has been able to escape the laws of our Earth Spirit Academy. Destroying a sect with one's own power is a capital crime in our courtyard. After a few breaths, Ling Feng looked at Xiao Yang and said, Still can't escape. Xiao Yang heard the words, but he didn't struggle too much. If things really reached the last step, then even if it was a crisis of serious injury, Ling Feng would definitely be hurt. The rules are indeed true, but the rules can be changed. The next moment, the old ghost of Earth Spirit laughed. Bold, both of you, as headmasters, dare to say such disrespectful things. When I meet the Lord, I will definitely impeach you. Ling Feng was furious when he heard this. The laws and regulations under Li Sol territory were formulated a long time ago, and now Xiao Yang directly ignores the laws and regulations and destroys them. The two of them are right, the laws and regulations in this spiritual courtyard can indeed vary from person to person, and the next moment, looking at Ling Feng in a state of rage, the person in front of Ling Feng the void squirmed slightly, and a middle-aged man smiled. Spiritual Court Master. Ling Yuanzi. Suddenly, with the appearance of this seemingly ordinary middle-aged man, Ling Feng's face turned completely gloomy. The strength of the head of the Ling Yuan is very close to the level of the 8-star fighting immortal. Even the strength of the head of the earth is not much different from it. It has an important position in the courtyard. This time, let's end it like this. Ling Yu's matter, you should go back and investigate it yourself, and you should be clear. I originally wanted to use this guy to call out the culprit of sin, but I didn't expect to be pulled out by this little family, which is really a misstep. Ling Yuanzi said with a slight smile in his eyes, and it was this understatement, but it makes this world have a feeling that the world is eclipsed. Alas! Ling Feng heard the words, the fierce momentum suddenly collapsed, and then slowly disappeared. Little guy, you did a great job. After you can go back to settle down, you too, bring him over to find me. As soon as the voice fell, the powerful man who was close to the peak of heaven and earth slowly disappeared, and the void regained its calm. Is this the powerhouse at the peak of the 7 stars fighting immortals? That fluctuation. Xiao Yang looked at the Ling Yuanzi disappearing in front of him, and a familiar wave seemed to emerge. Time is passing. Xiao Yang's astonishing action that day has passed several days now. As the Qingyun Pavilion was completely destroyed by Xiao Yang with his own power, it had been 3 days since Xiao Yang's move and even the move to lead out the head of the spiritual academy. In 3 days, Xiao Yang's illustrious reputation has spread in the Earth Spirit Academy and the entire region of the Central Territory, and even the 10,000 Fire Sect, its status has risen because of this. With the help of Xiao Yang, their sect has become one thing: destroy the remaining power of Tingfeng Pavilion, and soon occupy the territories of Tingfeng Pavilion and Qingyun Pavilion, and the strength has greatly increased. In the Hua sect, many sects were dissatisfied with this, but Xiao Yang was in charge, so they could only calm down. At this time, in the hall of Wan Hua Zongmen. Hey, my lord. Hua Yizong looked at Xiao Yang with a smile on his face. Since Xiao Yang's return, the WN Hua sect has also been surprisingly convinced of Xiao Yang's rule, and under the management of Xiao Yang and Xiao Gui, the overall strength of the WN Hua sect has directly reached the ranks of the top forces in the Central Territory. With Xiao Yang, no other sect dared to stare at them. After all, he was as strong as Xiao Yang, who used the strength of the 4-star fighting immortal early stage to obliterate a sect. This kind of reputation and strength was enough to shock people. Myriad Fire Sect is now a firm foothold in the Central Territory, and I should complete the rest of my process. Xiao Yang's eyes became illusory, and he spoke slowly. Obviously, the current situation can be regarded as a relationship with Xiao Yang. Expected the same, but Xiao Yang's time and tasks will become very heavy. It is imminent to look for the traces of undying fire and acacia, and even the news of Chiju divine soul light. In a short while, I may have to go back to Dodi continent. After a while, Xiao Yang opened his mouth. As soon as he finished speaking, his eyes turned to Hua Yi. After all, with the power of WN Hua sect, even Xiao Yang was alone. It is also a bit tricky to face, so Xiao Yang wants to try this Hua Yi attitude first. Hey, my lord, in our Myriad Fire Sect, there are many strong human beings, and being managed by Sir Xiao Yang, there are as many as 10 4-star fighting immortals within the sect. With an order, the 10,000 Fire Sect will go up and down, and never give up. Hua Yi saw Xiao Yang's appearance like this, and immediately laughed. Hua Yi also knew that the 10,000 Fire Sect could have such an appearance. It was because of Xiao Yang that he said this. These words were also very admirable for Xiao Yang, which came from the bottom of my heart. I am relieved to hear Sect Master Hua's words. Xiao Yang smiled lightly when he heard the words. Obviously, Hua Yi had no problem, so he was relieved. Xiao Gui, you and Menglan are right here. I have to go to the Ling Yuan, Xiao Yang said while watching Xiao Gui and Luo Menglan loving each other. Luo Menglan nodded slightly and said immediately, but Xiao Gui knew that if his parents' affairs were not resolved in a day, his marriage would not be resolved. Master Xiao Yang is an eagle, and Li Huanyu can't stop him. I always feel that it was a wise choice for us to choose to follow him. As Xiao Yang left, the top executives of the 10,000 Fire Sect immediately came to mind. A trace of relief. If it wasn't for the fact that the senior sect members chose to follow Xiao Yang, they would be the ones who would suffer now. Hua Yi was very glad that his choice was right, and he also firmly believed that following Xiao Yang would be enough to grow into an overlord in the future. After Xiao Yang left the 10,000 Fire Sect, he secretly went to the depths of the Ling Yuan. Before, the old ghost of Earth Spirit gave him a piece of paper, and when he came to the Ling Yuan to burn the paper, he could call the old man over. Ling Yu has been interrogating for too long, otherwise, Once Ling Feng finds out that his son's breath is in our hands, I'm afraid it will cause a lot of trouble. The Lord of Soul Eater said when he just arrived here. Xiao Yang nodded lightly, and immediately knew the good intentions of the Soul Eater. Just here. On a mountain outside the sprawling city of Ling Yuan, Xiao Yang gently took out a piece of paper, smeared with the dazzling soul power, and burned it directly. The smoke bypassed the city and headed upward, so it was like attracting some strong people. I don't know why, when I destroyed the Qingyun Pavilion and led out the head of the spiritual house, the familiar fluctuations on the head of the house made Xiao Yang feel a little familiar. President Yang felt that the principal of the spiritual academy seemed to have some plans when he saw him, but he was not sure about it for a while. With a sound, the void squirmed, and the figure of the old earth slowly appeared here, which made Xiao Yang feel more cordial. Have everything been explained? Di Laro just appeared, and asked with sleepy eyes, apparently just woke up. Well, everything about the sect has been explained, and Xiao Gui's injury and Meng Lan are temporarily settled there. Xiao Yang nodded lightly. That's great, but remember, Wanhua sect is different from ordinary sects. Their ancestors are all human beings in the human world. Now the strength of your 10,000 fire sect has greatly increased. Even if you bring it into the human world, it is still a strong force. When you need it, I'm afraid it can be a help for you, but don't forget it. Di Laudi said. Disciple now knows Xiao Yang's eyes lit up when he heard the words. Obviously, this is always on demand. After all, after he has solved the matter of the Soul Eater, he will definitely return to Duty Continent. Entering the Duty Continent, there are still many things that need to be done by oneself, and those things require a lot of strength, and this myriad fire sect is undoubtedly one of his own strengths. After that day, Ling Feng went back to the underground courtyard and went to Ling Yu's residence to search, and found some auras similar to those of an alien race. Immediately, in combination with other information, Ling Yu's accusation of colluding with an alien race was confirmed. Now Ling Feng's position as headmaster has been evacuated and he is locked in the soul prison. But Ling Feng has a good personality, but he is too rigid and abides by the rules. Now that his son is accused of colluding with foreign evil races, he is also disheartened. This time, I'm afraid I'm going to hide in the mountains. The withdrawal of an upright 7-star fighting immortal powerhouse is probably also a loss for our Earth Spirit Academy. Di Laro said rather sadly. Xiao Yang sighed when he heard this, but Ling Yu's soul body has not been interrogated yet. Let's go, I'll take you to the dean, he seems to be looking for you for something, said the old man. Looking for me? Xiao Yang heard the words, and suddenly became puzzled. What is the matter with this level of power looking for him? As soon as he finished speaking, the void trembled, and the old man brought Xiao Yang into the core of the spiritual academy. Lingyuan City, the apex above the monstrous river, is a paradise above Linghe City. The entrance to this place is mysterious. The whole is like a fairyland on earth, with misty mist and dense bamboo forests. The spring water flows straight down, forming a magnificent scenery. It is beautiful, and the energy of heaven and earth is extremely abundant. It is a veritable holy place for cultivation, and being able to live here undoubtedly proves the dignity of its identity. This is. The void was squirming, and Xiao Yang and Di Laro's bodies suddenly came here, but Xiao Yang found that even with Xiao Yang's tyrannical soul power, he could not easily explore this paradise. Even the demeanor of the old earth has changed from sleepy eyes at the beginning to the spirit of today. Here is the residence of the dean, the Lingyuan, which is the place where the dean of the spiritual academy was given to us by the master of the soul. When you see the dean, you should show some respect. After all, the dean seems to be very respectful. You have some meaning, I hope you will not let your future down. The old man said meaningfully, and he respected the so-called head of the spiritual academy in his words. Okay. Xiao Yang looked at the old man like this, and nodded immediately, but he was still very curious about the head of the spiritual academy. Lord Dean. After a while, the old voice softened, and he slowly called out to the depths of the misty bamboo forest inside the Lingyuan. Wang buzzing. Di Laro's voice just spread, and suddenly a sound wave like ripples emerged slowly. Old D, come in. After Shun breathed, there was a burst of laughter from the misty bamboo forest, and the sound was filled with lightness, but this sound actually caused Xiao Yang to have a short-lived feeling of absence. Let's go. When the old man heard the words, his eyes narrowed, and he immediately took Xiao Yang and headed towards the Lingyuan. The strength of the 4-star Dozian in the early stage actually dared to use this strength to challenge the entire Qingyun Pavilion, using the Holy Flame and the Great Heaven Seed to fuse the flames to destroy the entire Qingyun Pavilion. After a while, in the mist, slowly paced, a dignified middle-aged man stepped out. The man was wearing simple clothes, like an ordinary person, but the fluctuations from his body were heart-pounding. Lord Dean. Looking at the imposing middle-aged man in front of him, old Edie's tyrannical strength like a 7-star fighting immortal couldn't help but become humble. Although the old man was lucky enough to break through to the 7-star fighting immortals, his strength was still quite different from that of the head of the spiritual academy in front of him. You brat, you really don't play cards according to common sense at all. The head of the Ling Yu Academy smiled at Xiao Yang. Hee. Xiao Yang grinned when he heard the words, but at that time it was a no-brainer. Ling Yu was originally an important figure under our control of Sin, but he was arrested by you. He shouldn't have died, right? After Shurenshi, the head of the spiritual academy opened his mouth. It's really not. Xiao Yang heard the words, looked at the sincere eyes of the old man, and answered directly without avoiding it. Ling Feng owes a lot to his son Ling Yu, so he did not hesitate to resign as the head teacher of the underground courtyard, just to exchange his son's soul and understand what he owes to Ling Yu. The next moment, the Ling Yuan courtyard the length is open to the mouth. This. Hearing this, Xiao Yang frowned. The current Ling Yu was obviously suppressed by his 3 forces in his own vindictive sea. After a while, when this guy is honest, he will be able to interrogate some information. The dean of the academy wanted him to hand over this guy, but Xiao Yang was obviously a little unwilling. Ling Yu's fornication with the 7th crime department in the Sin, the Devil Emperor Xiao. Do you know that? Xiao Yang asked tentatively. The 7th crime department, I don't know that. After hearing the words, the dean of the spiritual academy pondered that, even with the information he had, it was probably 55% compared to Xiao Yang. Sir, I can't return Ling Yu's soul body for the time being. It's still useful for me to keep him, but don't worry, I won't kill him. After my affairs are over, I will personally send him back to the courtyard. Xiao Yang, his eyes became firm and he fought for himself. Little guy, although Ling Feng feels guilty because Ling Yu colluded with the evil race from outside the territory, but no matter what, he is also a genuine 7-star fighting immortal. If we are not by your side, I'm afraid you. The dean of the Ling Yuan could not think of this. Xiao Yang, who seems to be harmless to humans and animals, actually speaks so sharply. After all, the human beings who communicated with him in the past were even ghosts. Because of his detached status, he was quite respected. Only this Xiao Yang was different. Damn! Isn't this a clear pressure? Seeing this, Xiao Yang couldn't help frowning and said, Don't worry, you are also a genius in our spiritual courtyard, so I have won a lot of benefits for you. If you need anything, even if you can talk to Ling Feng, as long as it is within a reasonable range, Ling Feng will give it to you. After a while, seeing Xiao Yang's character who did not shed tears without seeing the coffin, the head of the spiritual academy said in a state of disbelief. Oh, and such good things. Xiao Yang said with great joy. It's natural, after all, Ling Feng only has this son. D. Laro interjected. I don't know if the general's saint-level fighting skills and exercises are feasible. Xiao Yang asked tentatively. Only after confirming these things can Xiao Yang dare to plan the next step with confidence. These things are naturally feasible, but the headmaster of the dignified courtyard, wouldn't it be cheaper for him to have such a few things? After Shurenshi, the dean of the Ling Yuan also laughed like an old fox. I don't know if I can enter the extremely famous Earth Spirit Pagoda in the underground courtyard. Seeing that the dean of the Spirit Courtyard was also facing himself, Xiao Yang did not shy away, and said directly, Oh, do you want to enter the Earth Spirit Pagoda? The dean of the Spirit Academy heard the words could not help but light up. This Earth Spirit Pagoda is controlled by the Earth Court, and within this Earth Spirit Pagoda, there are many treasures, and even the things that are protected in the depths, even these old guys are unknown. Is it all right? Xiao Yang asked, looking at the dean of the Spiritual Academy with a firm gaze. Since the Qingyun Pavilion incident ended that day, Xiao Yang has communicated with Xiao Gui. According to Xiao Gui's news, the background of Xiao Gui's parents is probably related to the Earth Spirit Pagoda. The most precious Chiju Diversion Soul Cup, which heals the soul source of the Soul Eater Lord, is probably also from this Earth Spirit Pagoda, so there is Xiao Yang's current scene. Okay, you go back and wait for the news first. I will go back and fight with Ling Feng, although the qualification to enter the Earth Spirit Pagoda is quite precious, but I think this guy should be happy to exchange. After all, the Earth Spirit compared with his precious son, the tower is more important, said the dean of the Spiritual Academy. Yes. Xiao Yang nodded when he heard the words, and then slowly left here and went directly into the spiritual garden to practice. Old D, do you have anything else to do? After settling Xiao Yang in a valley with abundant energy from heaven and earth to cultivate in the spiritual academy, the director of the spiritual academy immediately said, "My lord, thank you for your protection over the years, but now the evil races from outside the territory are eyeing them, and the situation in the Seven Realms is also uncertain. After 3 discussions with Luo Zhamu, I plan to dismiss the post of headmaster of the spiritual academy and bring Menglan back." Inheriting the holy flame, the old man said respectfully. As soon as the voice fell, the exquisite jade in the palm of the Lingyuan courtyard quietly fell off, like the sound of glass breaking, filling the bamboo forest. This video will end here.